Okay, so let's try an example problem. So this is the problem that you sent me. I'm actually going to kind of ignore your values here, and I'm going to show you how to kind of use the diagrams here. Now you said that we're only going to focus on this 2. Okay, so we're only going to focus on this 2, and then we're only going to focus on this 2. So for example, this first one, again, ignore your values for now. I'm going to show you where I got these values from. But looking at this first one here on the right-hand side, I can see this particular shape is this one. I can see that this measurement right here is A, and A is 2 5/16. Okay. It tells me that this measurement is B, which is here to here, and that number is 3 11/16. And then they also told me the number from here to here is A, which we already know. Which we already know to be 2 5/16. Okay, and that's the number from this middle line to this corner edge right here. Okay, and so that's just coming from the little chart. Then I can see that I can see that this from here to here is 12 inches. So from here to here is 12 inches. From here to here is 2 5/16. So that means C is 12 minus 2 5/16. Okay. One thing about if you want to do it in fraction form, one thing about fractions is you need to make sure you have a common denominator. I do see that your math was mostly correct, but I think there was like some slight things. I don't know if you were just pressed for time. But for example, this is 12, so I can do 11 and 16 over 16. Oh, hold on, let me check that. Yeah. So this is 11, 16 over 16 because I just took one of the ones and I turned it into a 1. So any number on top of itself is a 1. And then this is a 2 5/16. So then I can combine these pieces. So then it would be 16 minus 5 up on top. And I end up with 11 over 16. So that's 16 minus 5. And then I just bring this over. And then 11 minus 2 is 9. So it'd be 9 11/16. So that's what C was right here. This value, this 11 16, that's what was happening here. So then looking at your diagram again, they're telling me this is 30. So if I look at this, actually, I can look at, let's look at this bottom one instead. So this bottom one is a, so this bottom one, you can see how it's the same, it's almost the same thing, but I think it's a little flipped. Oh, wait. Sorry, this is not a sanitary tea. Okay, so this is a little bit flipped. This C right here is this distance here. So that's C. And we said we're going to focus on just the two. So this is 3 5/8. So that piece was correct. They tell us that from here to here is B. So then this distance is 2 1/4. And then this whole distance right here is A, which is 5 7/8. Okay, so I'm starting to remember that these numbers might not be the same ones. I think it was part 600. Here, let me double check really quick. Yeah. Sorry, I pulled the wrong picture. Okay, sorry. So these are the correct numbers for the Y. I pulled the wrong image, but the diagram is nearly the same. The only difference are the numbers. So this number here should actually be 1 3/8. And then this number down here should actually be 5. Okay, so same idea. This is still 5. This is still 1 3/8. And then this is still 3 5/8. Okay. The other thing is it does tell you that this is a 45-degree fitting. So this right here is 45 degrees. Well, we now know that in a 45-degree triangle, and I see this triangle here, I see this triangle here in a 45, 45, 90 triangle. That means this is 90 degrees. This is 45. This one has to be 45 degrees. It has to, or it's not a 90-degree angle, a triangle. Okay, so we're going to use all of those pieces. Here you could use the little formula sheet that they gave you, but I don't think you'll need to just because of the other values you're given. Okay, so what do I mean by that? There's a couple of ways you could have solved it. You could say, okay, well, I know this is 30. I know that this is 12. That means this right here has to be everything that's left over. So this distance right here is 30 minus 12, which gives me 18. So this is correct. Okay, so 30 minus 12, 30 minus 12 gets me 18. Okay, again, 45, 45 triangle, that means that this distance also has to be 18. Because it's a 45, 45. Okay, so now I know that this is 18. I know this is 18. I know this is T, the longest part of the triangle. So there's two ways I can solve for this. I could say a squared plus b squared, which is 18 squared plus 18 squared square rooted. Remember, you have to do the inside piece first. Okay, so here I get 648, and then that gets me 25.455. Okay. So this is pretty close. Or you could, because it's a 45, 45, I could also go back and use one of my equations here. So I could say, okay, well, if I'm solving for t, I could do 18 times 1.41 or 18 times 1.41. And we should get the same answer. So I'm going to do 18, 1.41. And you can see how we got nearly the same number. Again, the reason you're not getting exact numbers is because these values, where they're getting these numbers from, is a rounded number. So you can see how they're pretty close in value. So either one of these should be accepted. This is technically more accurate, but obviously they're letting you use either one. Okay, so that means that this right here is 25.45 or 25.38, either one. Okay, last piece. We know what we figured out what C is, we figured out what B is. The only thing we're missing here is A. Now, this is the only one I can't tell what information you actually need to solve because of this break right here, but I'm going to show you several different ways. So again, this right here is the same thing as this one. So I know that this piece is 2 5/16. Okay, again, that comes from my little chart. I also know that this total distance from here to here is the same as this total distance because they are pieces of my rectangle. So I know that this whole thing, this is 44. This is 18. So that means this has to be 44 minus 18. Which is 26. Okay, so 26 is the number from here to here. If you wanted just the number from here to here, then you would have to take away this value right here. So this would be 26 minus 2 5/16. Remember this, I can turn this into a 1. And then this is 16 minus 5, which are the top two numbers. And then 25 minus 2 is just this distance. Whew, okay. I hope that was helpful. Obviously, if you have any more questions, I am more than happy to help. Also, you can kind of view this over and let me know what doesn't make sense, and I can also help out that way. Okay, bye.